since Pokémon Sun and Moon were released, I've seen people on forums say that Game Freak didn't make any new Mega Evolutions because they regretted it. Personally, I think the evidence for this is pretty flimsy, so I'm here to set the record straight. The main evidence people point to is the disturbing Pokédex entries for Mega Evolutions in Sun and Moon, which were the first games to give separate entries to separate forms, but the information within them is nothing new. For example, all of Mega Glalie Pokédex entries mention that it has a broken jaw, but this was first mentioned on the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire website. Most of Mega Lucario's entries call it heartless or merciless, but the anime had an entire arc where Karina's Lucario kept losing control of his Mega Evolution. In Pokémon Super Mystery Dungeon, if a Pokémon in your party is Mega Evolved for too long, it will go into Berserk mode and become uncontrollable. Not to mention, this argument relies on a lot of cherry picking. I can point to several entries that aren't disturbing in the slightest. Mega Pinsir just loves to fly. Mega Slowbro barely notices a difference. Sun's entry for Mega Metagross says nothing about its ruthlessness and just describes what it's made of. Let's Go's entry for Mega Gyarados even says it will respond to orders from a trainer it trusts. Plus, Pokédex entries have always been messed up. Using them as proof for any behind-the-scenes decisions is pretty silly. Kabutops' entry in Red and Blue says it slashes its prey and drains their bodily fluids. Does that mean Game Freak instantly regretted making Kabutops and wanted to turn people off it? Of course not! Moving outside the realm of Pokédex entries, Mega Evolutions are a mainstay in other parts of the franchise. They've been in almost every spin-off since Gen 6. Even after Sword and Shield were released, they were in Rescue Team DX and continued to appear in the anime. If Game Freak really did regret Mega Evolution, wouldn't the Pokémon company tell its business partners to stop using it? I think the reason they got rid of Mega Evolution is far simpler. Ever since Gen 6, each new generation has introduced a new gimmick. By the time they started developing Sword and Shield, Game Freak realised that having too many gimmicks coexisting would be a nightmare to balance, so some things had to go. Don't get me wrong, I don't like Dexit either, but I understand why they did it to an extent.